The crystal champagne flute shatters on the marble floor, and every head in the luxury hotel ballroom turns toward the sound. Funmi Adebayo freezes, her dark brown hands still extended where the tray was just a second ago, her heart hammering as 300 pairs of eyes lock onto her. The wedding reception, the most high-profile event Seoul has seen this year, has just gone silent because she, the head chef and caterer, dropped a tray of champagne in front of the groom's family table. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is that the groom himself, Dr. Kang Ji-woo, the brilliant 32-year-old cardiac surgeon and CEO of Seoul's largest private hospital network, stands from his seat at the head table, his handsome face unreadable as he stares directly at her. Not at the broken glass, not at the mess, at her. And then he does something that will change both their lives forever. He walks away from his bride. He crosses the ballroom floor in his perfectly tailored tuxedo, his warm brown eyes never leaving Funmi's shocked face. And when he reaches her, while his bride sits confused at the head table, while his parents stand in outrage, while the 300 guests whisper and gasp, he takes her hand. "I'm sorry," he says, loud enough for the front tables to hear. "I can't do this." His bride's voice cuts through the stunned silence. "Ji-woo, what are you doing?" He turns back to face her, still holding Funmi's hand. "I'm calling off the wedding. I can't marry you when I'm in love with someone else." Every eye in the room shifts to Funmi's face as she stands there in her chef's whites, this Nigerian woman with beautiful dark brown skin, wide shocked eyes, and absolutely no idea how her entire world just turned upside down. But to understand how they got here, we need to go back 3 months. Back to the day Funmi Adebayo, 28-year-old chef and owner of Nigerian Kitchen, got the opportunity that would change her life and break her heart in the best possible way. If you're already hooked and want to see how a Nigerian chef and a Korean doctor go from enemies to lovers, smash that subscribe button right now. Drop a comment telling me if you believe in love at first sight or love that grows over time. And hit that like button because this sweet romance is about to make your heart melt. 3 months earlier, Funmi stands in her small but immaculate commercial kitchen in Seoul's Itaewon district, going over inventory with her assistant while simultaneously stirring a pot of agusi soup that fills the space with the rich aroma of melon seeds and palm oil. She's been in Korea for 5 years, arrived as a culinary student on a scholarship, stayed because she fell in love with the city, and built a successful catering business, serving Nigerian and West African cuisine to Seoul's growing African expat community and adventurous Korean food lovers. Her phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer because she's in the middle of counting dried fish for tomorrow's event. But something makes her swipe to accept. Nigerian Kitchen, this is Funmi speaking. The voice on the other end is crisp, professional, female. "Miss Adebayo, my name is Kim Min-jung. I'm the executive event coordinator for the Kang family. Your establishment was recommended to us by the Nigerian embassy. We're looking for a caterer for a high-profile wedding in 3 months." Funmi's stirring hand stills. The Kang family, even she who pays minimal attention to Korean high society, knows that name. The Kangs own half of Seoul's private medical facilities. Old money, medical royalty, the kind of family that appears in news articles about charitable donations and medical innovations. "I'm listening," Funmi says carefully. "The wedding will host approximately 300 guests. The groom's mother, Mrs. Kang Sun-hee, spent significant time in Nigeria in her youth doing medical missionary work. She has requested an authentic Nigerian feast as part of the reception menu. Money is no object. We need the best." Funmi's mind races. 300 guests, high-profile wedding. Money is no object. This could be the opportunity that takes her business from successful to legendary. This could be the foundation that lets her expand, hire more staff, maybe even open a restaurant instead of just doing catering. "When can we meet to discuss details?" Funmi asks, already mentally running through recipes and logistics. "Tomorrow, 2 p.m. The groom would like to be involved in the menu planning. He's quite particular about food quality. Can you come to Kang Medical Center, executive floor?" The groom wants to be involved. Funmi suppresses a sigh. In her experience, grooms who think they know about food are usually the most difficult clients. But for this opportunity, she'll handle it. "I'll be there," she confirms. The next day, Funmi arrives at Kang Medical Center 15 minutes early. She dressed in her professional best, a tailored navy blue dress that strikes the perfect balance between chef and businesswoman. Her natural hair styled in an elegant twist-out, minimal makeup highlighting her features. She's learned over 5 years in Korea that first impressions matter enormously, especially when you're a black woman trying to be taken seriously in business. The executive floor is exactly as intimidating as she expected. All glass, steel, and understated wealth. The receptionist, a young Korean woman with perfect posture, greets her politely and directs her to a conference room. "Dr. Kang will be with you shortly," the receptionist says. "Can I get you anything? Coffee? Tea? Water would be lovely, thank you." Funmi settles into the conference room, pulling out her tablet with menu proposals and her portfolio of past events. She's prepared. She's professional. She's ready to impress. What she's not ready for is the man who walks through the door 5 minutes later. Dr. Kang Ji-woo is tall, around 6 feet, with a lean, athletic build that his expensive charcoal suit emphasizes rather than hides. His face is the kind of handsome that's almost unfair. Strong jawline, warm brown eyes behind stylish glasses, gentle features that somehow still communicate authority and intelligence. His black hair is styled perfectly, and when he enters, he brings with him an energy that's simultaneously warm and serious, approachable yet commanding respect. He's also younger than Funmi expected, early 30s at most, and when he smiles at her, a genuine, reaching his eyes smile, something in her chest does a little flip that is absolutely unprofessional and completely unwelcome. "Miss Adebayo," he says, extending his hand. His Korean is perfect, but his voice is warm, kind. "Thank you for coming. I'm Kang Ji-woo." Funmi stands, shakes his hand. His grip is firm, confident, and warm, and reminds herself sternly that he is a client and, more importantly, a groom planning his wedding. Off limits in every possible way. "Dr. Kang, it's a pleasure to meet you. Congratulations on your upcoming wedding." Something flickers across his face, too quick to read, but then the warm smile is back. "Thank you. Please sit. Can I say first that I'm genuinely excited about this? My mother has talked about Nigerian food for my entire childhood. Her time in Nigeria shaped her deeply, and having that represented at the wedding means everything to her." Funmi relaxes slightly. A client who actually appreciates the cuisine, who isn't just checking a box. "That's wonderful to hear. I brought some menu proposals based on traditional Nigerian wedding feasts. Would you like to walk through them?" For the next 30 minutes, they discuss food, and Funmi discovers something unexpected. Dr. Kang Ji-woo knows his stuff. He asks intelligent questions about ingredients, preparation methods, flavor profiles. He's not pretending to be interested. He genuinely cares. When she describes her signature jollof rice recipe, his eyes light up. "My mother used to tell me about jollof rice debates," he says with a slight smile. "Nigerian versus Ghanaian. See, she always sided with Nigeria." "Your mother is a wise woman," Funmi responds with a grin. "Nigerian jollof is superior. This is not up for debate." He laughs, a genuine warm sound. And for a moment, they're not client and vendor. They're just two people connecting over food and culture. Then his phone buzzes. He glances at it and his expression shifts, becomes more guarded, more formal. "I apologize, I need to take this. One moment." He steps out of the conference room, and Funmi uses the moment to collect herself. She's being ridiculous. Yes, he's attractive. Yes, he's kind and intelligent and seems genuinely interested in her culture and her food. But he's also getting married in 3 months to someone else, and she's here to do a job, not develop an inappropriate crush on a client. When he returns, his warm demeanor is slightly dimmed, more professional, more distant. "I've reviewed your proposals," he says, sitting down with a more formal posture. "They're excellent. However, I have some concerns about execution." Funmi's spine straightens. "What kind of concerns?" "You're a small operation. 300 guests is significant. How do I know you can handle the volume without compromising quality?" The question is reasonable, but something in his tone, slightly condescending, as if he's already decided she'll fail, makes Funmi's defenses rise. "Dr. Kang, I've been catering events in Seoul for 4 years. I've handled embassy functions with 200 guests. I have a network of trained staff I bring in for large events. My kitchen is certified, my processes are established, and my reputation is built on never compromising quality regardless of scale. Embassy functions are different from a high society wedding. The scrutiny will be intense. One mistake, one dish that's not perfect, and it reflects on my family. Now Funmi's definitely bristling. Are you suggesting I'm not capable of meeting high standards? Because I assure you, Dr. Kang, my standards are exceptionally high. Nigerian cuisine is not lesser than just because you're not familiar with it. It deserves the same respect as any other culinary tradition. His eyes widened slightly. That's not what I meant, isn't it? You said you're excited about Nigerian food, but your concerns suggest you don't actually trust it, or me, to be good enough for your wedding. They stare at each other across the conference table. And the warmth from earlier has evaporated, replaced by tension and misunderstanding. Ji-woo removes his glasses, pinches the bridge of his nose. When he speaks again, his voice is quieter. I apologize, that came out wrong. I'm not questioning your ability or the cuisine. I'm questioning whether I should be putting this kind of pressure on any caterer. This wedding is complicated. There are expectations, family obligations, and I'm trying to honor my mother while also managing a lot of other factors you don't know about. The admission is vulnerable, honest. Funmi's anger deflates slightly. What other factors? She asks more gently. He looks at her for a long moment, seems to be weighing something, then shakes his head. It doesn't matter. Can you handle this event or not? I need an honest answer. Funmi meets his eyes directly. Yes, I can handle it. I will make your mother's dream of a Nigerian feast come true. You have my word. He studies her face, then nods. Okay, then you're hired. My assistant will send over the contract. We'll need to meet weekly to finalize details. Weekly? That seems excessive. I told you, I'm particular about food quality. And this wedding matters. So yes, weekly meetings. Is that a problem? The challenge in his voice sparks something competitive in Funmi. No problem at all, Dr. Kang. I look forward to exceeding your expectations. Good. He stands, extends his hand again. I look forward to being proven wrong about my concerns. Funmi shakes his hand, feels that same warm firmness, and ignores the way her heart skips. You will be. As she leaves the building, Funmi realizes she's just signed up for 3 months of weekly meetings with a man who's simultaneously attractive, infuriating, getting married, and apparently carrying some secret burden he won't share. This is either going to be the best professional opportunity of her career or the most complicated 3 months of her life. Possibly both. The weekly meetings begin. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m., Funmi arrives at Kang Medical Center, or occasionally at the wedding venue, a luxury hotel in Gangnam, to review progress with Dr. Kang. And every week they clash. He questions her spice levels. She defends her recipes. He suggests modifications. She explains why they won't work. He worries about guest reactions. She reminds him that authentic food requires authentic preparation. But here's the thing Funmi starts to notice. Underneath the questions and concerns, Dr. Kang is genuinely trying to understand. He's not being difficult for the sake of it. He's protective of his mother's vision and anxious about the wedding, and slowly Funmi begins to see past her initial irritation to the person underneath. She sees how he treats every staff member with respect, learning names, asking about their families. She sees how he lights up when talking about medicine in his work at the hospital. She sees the moments when his professional mask slips and something sad, almost trapped, flickers across his face. And she sees the way he looks at her when he thinks she's not paying attention. With an intensity that has nothing to do with food and everything to do with something neither of them can acknowledge. 6 weeks before the wedding, they have their first real breakthrough. Funmi arrives for their Tuesday meeting with samples, actual dishes for him to taste. She's prepared small portions of jollof rice, egusi soup with pounded yam, suya skewers, moi moi, and chin chin for dessert. When she sets up the spread in the conference room, Ji-woo's eyes widen. You made all this? I wanted you to taste the actual menu, not just hear about it. Eating is believing. He sits down, looks at the spread almost reverently, then picks up a fork. The first bite is jollof rice. Funmi watches his face, sees the moment the flavors hit. The perfectly balanced tomato base, the subtle heat, the aromatic rice. His eyes close. "Oh my God! Good?" she asks, trying not to smile. "This is incredible. This is—" He takes another bite. "My mother is going to cry when she tastes this. In the best way." Relief and pride wash through Funmi. "Try the agusi." He does. And the suya. And everything else. With each dish, his appreciation grows, and the professional distance between them dissolves into something warm and genuine. "I owe you an apology," he says after trying everything. "I doubted you. I shouldn't have. You were protecting your mother's dream. I understand that. It's more than that." He sets down his fork, meets her eyes. "Can I be honest with you? Please. I've been difficult because I'm anxious about this whole wedding. Not the food, the wedding itself." Funmi's heart skips. "Why?" He's quiet for a long moment then. "Have you ever felt trapped by expectations? By family obligations? By a path that was chosen for you before you were old enough to choose for yourself?" "I'm Nigerian," Funmi says softly. "Family expectations are our national sport. I understand. My fiancée, Yoon Min Ah, is wonderful. She's beautiful, accomplished, from a good family. We've known each other since childhood. Our parents arranged this marriage when we were teenagers. Everyone expects it. Everyone wants it. But you don't?" Funmi asks, even though she knows she probably shouldn't. Ji-woo looks at her with those warm, sad eyes. "I don't know what I want anymore. I'm 32 years old and I've spent my entire life being the perfect son, perfect student, perfect doctor, perfect future husband. And I'm tired of perfect." The vulnerability in his admission makes Funmi's chest ache. "Have you talked to your fiancée about this?" "She doesn't want to hear it. She's invested in the image of us, the perfect medical power couple. And maybe that's all marriage is supposed to be in our world. Partnership, alliance, not love." Funmi finishes quietly. "Not the kind of love that makes you feel alive." They're staring at each other across the table, and the air between them is charged with something dangerous and undeniable. Funmi knows she should change the subject, should rebuild the professional boundaries, should remember that he's her client and he's engaged and this is inappropriate. But instead she says, "Tell me about the kind of love that makes you feel alive." Ji-woo's eyes darken. "The kind where you meet someone and suddenly everything makes sense. Where you can talk for hours and it feels like minutes. Where just being in the same room with them makes the world brighter. Where you want to know everything about them, their dreams, their fears, their favorite food at 3 a.m., the sound of their laugh, the way they light up when they talk about the things they love." His voice has dropped lower, more intimate. "The kind of love where you'd risk everything, status, family approval, the safe path, just to see if they feel the same way. That kind of love." Funmi can barely breathe, because he's describing exactly what she's been feeling for 6 weeks, but has been desperately trying to ignore. "That sounds terrifying." "It is." He leans forward. "Funmi, His phone buzzes. They both jump. The spell breaks. Ji-woo looks at the screen and his expression shudders. "It's my fiancé. I need to take this." He steps out. Funmi sits in the conference room surrounded by the food she made, her heart racing, her mind screaming warnings about falling for the wrong man at the wrong time. When he returns, the warmth is gone. The professional mask is back. "Thank you for the samples," he says formally. "They're approved. Please proceed with the full menu." "Ji-woo! Dr. Kang," he corrects gently but firmly. "I think it's best if we maintain professional boundaries from now on. I apologize for... I said things I shouldn't have. It won't happen again." He's right. They both know he's right. But it doesn't make the disappointment hurt any less. "Of course, Dr. Kang," Funmi says, matching his formal tone. "I'll see you next Tuesday." She packs up her samples and leaves, and she definitely doesn't cry in her car afterward. She definitely doesn't go home and eat an entire pint of ice cream while wondering how she managed to fall for a man who's marrying someone else in 5 weeks. But after that day, something shifts. They both try to maintain professional distance, but it's impossible. Because every Tuesday, they're in the same room, breathing the same air, pretending they don't feel what they feel. 4 weeks before the wedding, Ji-woo shows up to their meeting with dark circles under his eyes. "Are you okay?" Funmi asks before she can stop herself. "I'm fine. Let's review the timeline." "You look exhausted." "I said I'm fine." But he's not fine. Funmi can see it in the tension in his shoulders, the way he can't quite focus on the documents in front of him. "When did you last sleep?" she presses. "I'm a cardiac surgeon. Sleep is optional." "It's not optional. It's necessary. You can't take care of patients if you don't take care of yourself." He looks up at her, and for a moment the mask cracks. "Are you taking care of me, Funmi?" The way he says her name, soft, almost tender, does things to her heart that are absolutely not professional. "Someone has to," she says quietly. They stare at each other. Then Ji-woo does something unexpected. He reaches across the table and takes her hand. Just holds it. His thumb traces gentle circles on her palm. "You make everything better," he whispers. "Every Tuesday. Seeing you. It's the only thing I look forward to anymore." "Ji-woo." Funmi should pull her hand away. She doesn't. I know this is impossible. I know I have no right. But I need you to know, these weeks with you have been the happiest I've been in years. Not because of the food, because of you. Your laugh, your passion, the way you light up when you talk about cooking, the way you challenge me, the way you see me, not Dr. Kang or the Kang family heir, just me. "You're getting married in 4 weeks, Funmi says, but her voice breaks. "I know. To someone else." "I know." "Then why are you telling me this?" "Because I'm falling in love with you, and I needed you to know. Even if nothing can come of it. Even if this is all we ever have. I needed you to know." Funmi's eyes fill with tears. "That's not fair." "I know. I'm sorry." She pulls her hand away, stands up. "I can't do this. I can't be the other woman. I can't be the person who breaks up an engagement. That's not who I am. I'm not asking you to be. I'm not asking you for anything. I just needed to be honest. Honesty without action is just cruelty, Ji-woo." She grabs her bag and leaves. And this time she does cry in her car. She cries for the impossibility of it, for the love that's blooming in the worst possible circumstances, for the man who's brave enough to confess his feelings, but not brave enough to change his path. She considers quitting, walking away from the contract, the money, all of it. But that would mean letting down his mother, who's counting on this Nigerian feast to honor a meaningful time in her life. That would mean her business reputation suffering. That would mean running away instead of facing hard things. So she stays, but she keeps her distance. Their meetings become brief, formal, all business. Ji-woo doesn't reach for her hand again, doesn't make any more confessions. They circle each other like wounded animals, both hurting, both helpless. 2 weeks before the wedding, Funmi finally meets the bride. Yoon Min-ah is exactly as Ji-woo described, beautiful, poised, accomplished. She's a professor of literature at Seoul National University, elegant in a way that makes Funmi feel suddenly too loud, too bright, too much. And she's kind, which somehow makes everything worse. "I've heard wonderful things about your food," Min-ah says with a genuine smile. "Ji-woo says you're incredibly talented." "He talks about me?" Funmi can't help asking. "All the time. He says meeting you has been one of the best parts of wedding planning." Min-ah laughs, which is funny because he's barely involved in most of the other details. But the food? And he's obsessed. He cares about honoring his mother. He does. He's wonderful that way. Thoughtful. Kind. Min-ah's smile dims slightly. "Sometimes I think he's too kind. He has trouble saying no to people, to expectations." There's something in Min-ah's tone, a sadness, maybe an awareness, that makes Funmi look at her more closely. "Can I ask you something personal?" Funmi ventures. "Of course. Do you love him?" Min-ah is quiet for a long moment. "I care about him deeply. We've known each other our whole lives. He's my oldest friend." "That's not what I asked." Min-ah meets Funmi's eyes directly. "I think we're both doing what's expected of us. And maybe that's enough. Maybe love is something that grows from partnership and respect, and not something that hits you like lightning." But Funmi knows about love that hits like lightning. She's living it. and she wouldn't wish this aching, impossible feeling on anyone. I hope you'll be happy, Funmi says and means it. Thank you. Minna pauses. For what it's worth, I can see why he talks about you so much. You're radiant, like sunshine. The compliment stings more than any insult could. 1 week before the wedding, everything falls apart and comes together in the same moment. Ji-woo calls Funmi at 11 p.m. She's in her apartment, reviewing final prep schedules, and seeing his name on her phone makes her heart leap and ache simultaneously. Hello? I can't do this. His voice is raw, broken. I can't marry her. Funmi's breath catches. Ji-woo. I've been lying to myself, telling myself I could go through with it, that feelings would fade, that duty and family expectations mattered more than happiness. But they don't. They don't, Funmi. I can't spend my life with someone I don't love when I'm in love with you. Where are you? My office. I've been here for hours trying to work, and all I can think about is you. Your smile, your laugh, the way you say my name, the way you challenge me, the way you make me feel seen and alive and like myself for the first time in my life. Funmi closes her eyes, tears streaming. What are you going to do? I'm going to call off the wedding. Your family will never forgive you. I know. Her family will be humiliated. I know. You'll lose everything. Your reputation, your position, your family support. I know. But I'll have a chance at real happiness. With you, if you'll have me. Funmi is crying now, full sobs. You can't make this decision because of me. You have to make it for yourself. I am, because you showed me what it means to choose myself, to honor my own heart. You didn't mean to. You were just being yourself. But watching you be so unapologetically you, so passionate and brave and real, it made me realize I've been living a half-life, and I don't want to do that anymore. Ji-woo, this is your life, your family, your whole future. My future is whatever I make it, and I want to make it with you, if you want that too. Funmi's heart is racing. I want that more than anything, but I'm terrified. Me too, but I'm more terrified of living without you. When are you going to tell them? Tomorrow. I'll talk to Minna first. She deserves honesty. Then my parents. Then we'll make an announcement. The wedding is in 7 days. I know it's going to be a disaster, but it's the right thing to do. They're quiet for a moment. Then Funmi says, Come over. What? Come to my apartment. We shouldn't be apart tonight. She gives him her address. 40 minutes later, he's at her door, still in his work clothes, looking exhausted and terrified and hopeful all at once. Funmi pulls him inside, wraps her arms around him, and they hold each other like they're the only solid things in a tilting world. I'm scared, he whispers into her hair. I know. Me too. But I'm sure. About you. About us. Funmi pulls back to look at his face. I'm sure too. He cups her face in his hands, searches her eyes. Can I kiss you? I thought you'd never ask. Their first kiss is gentle, tentative, like they're both afraid the moment might shatter. But then it deepens, becomes more sure, and it tastes like tears and hope, and finally being honest about what they feel. When they break apart, both breathing hard, Ji-woo rests his forehead against hers. I don't know what happens next. I don't know how bad the fallout will be, but I know I want you beside me through it. You have me, for as long as you want me. Forever, then. They spend the night talking, planning, holding each other. And when morning comes, Ji-woo gets up, puts on his armor of expensive suit and professional confidence, and goes to break his engagement. The conversation with Minna is private, but he tells Funmi about it later. She was shocked but not surprised. She cried, but more from the public humiliation to come than from a broken heart. She admitted she'd known he wasn't in love with her, had hoped feelings would develop after marriage. She's hurt, angry, but ultimately she says something that gives him peace. I deserve someone who loves me the way you love her. We both deserve that. The conversation with his parents is worse, much worse. Yelling, accusations, his mother crying, his father calling him selfish, irresponsible, a disgrace to the family name. They demand to know who the woman is that's destroyed his engagement. When he tells them it's Funmi, the caterer, the Nigerian chef, there's a terrible silence. Then his mother speaks, her voice cold. A foreigner? You're throwing away your entire future for a foreigner? I'm choosing happiness, Mother. The way you chose to go to Nigeria for medical mission work despite grandmother's objections. Well, you followed your heart. I'm following mine. That was different. That was service. This is love. Isn't that a kind of service too? They go in circles. Ultimately, his father delivers an ultimatum. Call off whatever nonsense this is, go through with the wedding, or be cut off from the family entirely. Ji-woo chooses Funmi. The scandal explodes across Seoul's society pages. Wedding canceled, 7 days before the ceremony. The groom in love with the caterer. The family's humiliated. The gossip is vicious, speculative, cruel. Funmi's phone rings constantly. Other clients canceling contracts. People who'd never hired her suddenly calling to express their disgust. A few supporters, but mostly condemnation. Her business is in free fall. Ji-woo loses his position as CEO of the hospital network. His parents make good on their threat, cutting him off financially, socially, completely. He keeps his position as a surgeon because of his contract, but the prestigious research opportunities, the board seats, the family support, all gone. It's a disaster. But here's what else happens. They have each other. Ji-woo moves into Funmi's small apartment because he no longer has his penthouse. They cook together in her tiny kitchen. They laugh through the hardship. They face the judgment and gossip together. And slowly, they build something new. 2 months after the canceled wedding, Ji-woo proposes, not with a massive diamond or a grand gesture, but over a pot of jollof rice in Funmi's kitchen, with a simple band he bought with his surgeon salary. I know this isn't the life you imagined, he says, kneeling on her kitchen floor. Why, I can't offer you wealth or status or an easy path, but I can offer you love, real, consuming, choose you everyday love. Marry me, Funmi. Let me spend my life making you happy. Funmi pulls him to his feet, kisses him, and says yes through tears. They get married at the Nigerian embassy with 30 guests. Funmi's family who fly in from Nigeria, Ji-woo's medical school friends who remain loyal, and the few family members brave enough to defy the Kang parents and attend. Mrs. Kang's son Hee does not come to the wedding, but 3 days later, a package arrives at Funmi's apartment. Inside is a handwritten note. I tried your jollof rice before the canceled wedding. It tasted exactly like the Nigeria I remember, full of life, warmth, and joy. Perhaps that's what my son saw in you too. I don't forgive him yet, but I'm trying to understand. And this is my mother's recipe for kimchi jjigae. If you're going to be part of this family, even the disgraced, scattered part, you should know how to make it. Funmi cries reading the note. It's not acceptance, but it's a crack in the door. It's a start. 1 year later, Funmi and Ji-woo sit in the newly opened location of Seoul Kitchen. No longer just a catering operation, but a full restaurant in Itaewon. The space is packed with customers, the air filled with the aroma of agusi soup and suya and jollof rice. Ji-woo splits his time between his surgery schedule and helping Funmi run the restaurant. He's learned to cook Nigerian food under her patient, sometimes impatient, instruction. He's terrible at pounded yam, but excellent at chin-chin. They're not wealthy. They're not society darlings. Ji-woo's relationship with his parents is still strained. Though his mother has started calling occasionally and once came to the restaurant, she sat in the back, ate in silence, and left without speaking to them. But she came. What they are is happy, deeply, authentically happy. Do you ever regret it? Funmi asked one night as they clean up after service. Everything you gave up? Ji-woo pulls her into his arms, right there in the middle of the restaurant kitchen. I gave up a life that was never really mine, and I gained a life I actually want to live. With you. So no. Never. Even when your father won't speak to you. Even then. He'll come around eventually. Or he won't. Either way, I have you. Funmi rests her head on his chest, listens to his heartbeat. I love you, Dr. Kang. I love you too. Why, Chef Kang. They sway together in the empty kitchen, and outside Seoul's lights twinkle like promises. The path wasn't easy. The choice wasn't simple, but it was theirs. And that makes all the difference. If this story made you believe in choosing love over expectations, I need you to do something for me right now. First, smash that like button. Second, subscribe to this channel because we have more beautiful Afro-Korean love stories coming. And third, drop a comment telling me, would you give up everything for love or would you choose the safe path? I want to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching this sweet romance about a Nigerian chef and a Korean doctor who found each other in the most unlikely way. Remember that true love is worth fighting for, that happiness is worth choosing, and that sometimes the wrong car, the wrong client, the wrong timing leads to exactly the right person. See you in the next story.